It is a champagne car for lemonade money. Let's just put it that way. I'm a big fan of the Mazda 3, the combination of hatchback plus sportiness, plus good looks, plus a premium feel is a big attractor to me. So I found this on Carlist. It is a W176 Mercedes-Benz A-Class. So this is a new car, right? This is a 2013 model, registered in 2018. That means low mileage, that means a odometer reading of under 50K. Practically a new car, okay? And the price for all this is less, about 10K less than you would pay for a baseline new Toyota Vios, which is around 90,000 ringgit. This is about 80,000 ringgit. So why not buy this? This car is actually Mercedes-Benz's third generation A-Class, but I know some of you guys might think this is the first because this is the one that actually got popular and a big deal for Mercedes-Benz. And that continued into the sequel, the 177. This car, I know, doesn't look as good as the 177, but really it's aged pretty well, and you get this AMG-Line kit over here, which adds a lot more of an edge to it. Like you get the 18-inch wheels, okay, AMG-Line over there, you get a bit more aero kit, and you can't miss that spoiler. I think this car, 10 years later, after it was introduced, looks still pretty sharp. This generation was the first one to incorporate a more traditional hatchback design, proportions, shape, size, and that's why I think it was more popular, or got more popular. And you still get a big Mercedes-Benz logo at the front, so everyone knows you have a Mercedes-Benz and you're baller. Also, this car was the one to really compete with the German rivals, you know, like the 1 Series from BMW, Audi A3, even the Volkswagen Golf. This car put Mercedes-Benz in the hatchback game. So what's under the bonnet? You have a M270 1.6 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, okay? And this, power-wise, produces 122 horsepower and 200 Newton meters of torque, which might not sound like a lot because it isn't. But actually this car is quite peppy. In fact, this engine is pretty reliable by Mercedes-Benz standards because it formed the basis of the whole range up until the A250. So you can tune it if you want to, but because it is detuned from factory, this is one of the lower tunes, right? And you also have a low displacement. You, in theory, won't have an engine so much under stress, which results in more reliability. So the interior, right? This is where you can actually see and feel and really tell the condition of the car, and it's pretty tight because it looks like a newer car should. Honestly, this period of time when Mercedes-Benz was producing cars, they were heavily into plastics. So you have plastics up here, down here as well, this faux carbon weave, but it is still plastic. But at least all of the plastics are very high quality. Everything from, you know, even if you kind of put your hands down below over here, things do feel soft touch, not hard, nasty plastics, okay? You get a 7-inch screen over here, nothing really special, but for me, I just need Bluetooth. Over here, you have sports seats, like single piece sports seats. You have like this Alcantara micro suede material mixed with leather, mixed with red stitching, which kind of goes everywhere on the steering wheel as well. Red stitching, even the back seats, you get red stitching. Overall, this is a very modern interior for Mercedes-Benz or any car, and the fact that you can get it at this price, I think it's still worth it. So at the back, it is pretty spacious. Actually, I get a decent amount of headroom, and look at the way this thing curves over here, the seat backs, a lot of knee room as well. Yeah, it's not terribly spacious, but for a hatchback this size, not bad compared to like a 1 Series because it's rear-wheel drive. Speaking of which, you do still get a hump even though this car is front-wheel drive. I suspect because it is structural, so you have a bit of a hump over here. The seats, there's a big hole, you can just kind of like bother the driver this way. And look at these, you have actually some bolstering on the back seats, and it matches the fronts because you get the red stitching, you get the same materials, the Alcantara micro-suede material and leather. In the middle, armrest, nice, and cup holders, but you don't get rear air conditioning vents. It's okay, a little appreciation at the back, okay? It still looks, I think from the back it looks the best because it has this little slits over here, this sporty, you have this diffuser element with dual exhaust, okay? And this big spoiler adds, it's quite a bit of flair to the car. All right, practicality wise, open the boot and you have a 341 litre boot. But the way this thing kind of curves in, right, the headlights kind of eat in to the actual boot aperture. So you have to like kind of like move things in a certain way to have them all fit. Anyway, you can fold the seats down, in which you'll get 1,157 litres of space, but you can't have any back seats, of course. So yeah, hatchback life. So A180, this should be a bit underpowered, right? The A-Class platform has always been kind of agile. I am not the biggest fan of that big front end. I think the overhang is a little bit too little over the rear and a bit too much over the front. Regardless of it, doesn't look that bad. It's grown on me. It has a certain flair to it. Like, you know, okay, random, right? The handbrake on all Mercedes-Benzes used to be down here. You pull it like this, over there. But in the new ones, you have a E handbrake, which is totally fine. But you also have it down here. You push and pull, just not very far, right? Little touches like that tell me that this has kind of like the old world, the old soul of Mercedes-Benz. Driving this thing, look, it's a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine, right? So it's not going to be the last word in power. So you have 122 PS and 200 Newton meters of torque. That's the most important part, right? Ooh, brakes are good for a used car. They feel very tight. Gearbox, 7-speed dual clutch, and there are gear shift paddles, and they work pretty nicely too. And they're not just, I mean, they are plastic, okay, the gear shift paddles, but they're not low quality. They're quite thick and substantial. It feels pretty good in here. You're gonna kind of get a sense of that red stitching and that AMG-ness, at least the cosmetic parts of it. But then it does handle a corner pretty well, and it's still comfortable. It's because, you know, you mix the fact that this is a lower rung A-Class, but you have the AMG-Line, you have the AMG, I'm assuming you got the AMG suspension as well. A bit firmer, the tires are a little bit thinner, but you have that sportiness mixed with everyday comfort. And in here, I know I said the interior of this gen Mercedes-Benzes were a bit plasticky. That's still true. But driving it right now, even though this car has some mileage on it, you know, 45,000 kilometers or whatever it was, it still feels very tight, guys. I'm being serious. This still feels very well built, very together. There's no creaks, there's no weird play or funny little vibrations or anything. It feels really together. The only thing that would actually kind of send this over the top would be a sunroof, honestly, because this car in this spec, if it had a sunroof, there's no doubt in anybody's mind that this car is a premium car for pennies. It is a champagne car for lemonade money. Let's just put it that way. Suspension feels really tight. That was a really, really bumpy stretch over there, and this car took it really well. There's no weird rattles or whatever. Good condition. Yeah, 7-speed DCT doing its job really well. There's no weird downshifts or upshifts. It doesn't feel as unrefined as something like a DCT that you would find in like a Ford Fiesta, or even like the 1.4, you know, the TSI Golfs. That feels a little bit less refined than this. This feels really refined, like a Benz should. And because you get a smaller displacement engine, you know, lower pressure turbo, you won't consume nearly as much fuel. So again, another plus. Guys, it is a tempting buy. Tempting. So look, the W176 A-Class, this one in particular in this condition, is a very tempting buy, especially when we consider the fact that you can buy one for 10,000 ringgit less than a brand new but entry-level Toyota Vios. So a B segment Toyota, or an older but still pretty good A-Class, a German car, CBU, that is got a huge Mercedes-Benz logo up front, AMG-Line, all the kit you would really need. And the badge. The badge is really important, okay? Again, thanks to ES Car over here in Sungei Besi for letting us have a spin in the A180 over here. Very nice car. And if you're looking for any other car, honestly, have a look at the Carlist website or the Carlist app. And even for Carlist Qualified cars, there's a huge selection over there for you to have top-notch quality cars on Carlist. See you guys.